Alright, so I shot this video yesterday, right before Dana White announced that he was going live to unveil Alexa Grasso versus Macy Barber 2 and Israel Adesanya versus Joe Pyfer, right? So obviously they're not in the video, they're not in our tier list, but I thought instead of making a whole separate video, I might as well just talk about them here because everyone in the comments is gonna be like, "Where's Adesanya versus Pyfer?" It wasn't in the video because I filmed it already. It's already 40 minutes long, so I'll just get into it straight away. I'll shoot an alternate beginning for you guys. So we had the S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier, D tier. Actually, I won't even go into the tiers. We'll go into that in the video. But what I think of Adesanya versus Pyfer as a matchup, because I'm not even going to put Great Grasso versus Barber. I mean, I'm interested, but I'm not too overly interested. I'll watch it, obviously, but I'm not majorly excited. But it is a fun matchup, definitely. Number 3 versus number 5, so I'm liking it. I'm liking it. Izzy versus Pyfer, though. What do I think of it as a matchup? I quite enjoy it because it's one of those fights where obviously Izzy has been on such a unfortunate losing streak, 3 in a row, 3 separate years consecutively, hasn't won since the Pereira knockout, which was years ago now at this point. So it's crazy to think that he went on such a generational, like he's already started such a generational losing streak. But he's going from, he's ranked 6. He's fighting top 15, barely 15th, Joe Pyfer, right? And so it's not like the guys he lost to were Strickland, DDP, and Nazardin Imavov. Literally 3 of the top ranking guys at middleweight right now. So the fact that he's going so low makes me think that he can definitely win this one. So going to see Izzy possibly get back on a win streak. Joe Pyfer is obviously an entertaining fighter. He's not my favorite to watch in the middleweight division. I wouldn't say I go out of my way to go and watch Joe Pyfer fights. I don't love watching his fights, but I don't mind him as a fighter. Obviously, Izzy is entertaining. He's been on this, this downslide. Obviously, he's still, two-time champ though. Two-time champ Israel Adesanya, I think beats Joe Pyfer, right? But obviously, he's not that same Adesanya now. Do I still think he has a chance at winning this? I do still think he has a chance at winning this. I'm picking him to win, but I do enjoy the matchup. It is kind of iffy to me that Izzy's fighting, rank 6 is fighting rank 15. I know they don't really care about the rankings anymore, but I don't understand it if I'm keeping it real. I don't understand why Izzy's fighting a ranked 15th guy when he's not only ranked 6. Like, he doesn't need to fight that low, especially because if Pyfer wins this, is Pyfer going to be ranked in the top 6 after being 15th? That seems a bit dodgy to me. I wouldn't put him that high, and I don't think Pyfer's that good to be getting that. Obviously, Izzy's on a losing streak. But we'll see. Other than the rankings, though, I do think it's an entertaining matchup. So that's my thoughts on Israel Adesanya versus Joe Pyfer. Let me know what you guys think of that fight down in the comment section below, and let's get into the actual video today, boys. Thank you, guys. Let me get a drink of water. There's 3 numbers cards, and there's 3 non-pay-per-views that I think they've announced. And I'm gonna put it out there: the Fight Night matchups are terrible. Even on Paramount Plus, it's still terrible. The only ones that are saving graces was like the main events. Even the freaking Strickland Hernandez card, bruv. Let's go through what they have. I mean, this isn't gonna be the full thing, but the matchups suck on here. Like, look at this. What do they have? They've got Sergey Spivak versus Ante Delija, which was on the Sydney card, and they just were like, you know what, we'll put this on here just because we have nothing else. Dan Ige, fair enough, teammate of Strickland, I believe. But then the rest is like, bro, Ode Osborne, you don't really got much here. You really got, like, this is the card that they're putting on. I don't know about that. I don't know if that's a great card. Alright, what fight do we want to start off with? We'll just start from the top here. Alright, Fiziev versus Ruffy. Okay, so I think this is like 3rd fight up on the cards. This is the Australian card, right? Yeah. We got Fiziev versus Ruffy. Look, I'm a pretty decently sized fan of both of them, but I'm not big on either. They're both strikers, so this can be a fun striking type matchup. You know, But let's see. So, trying to think. Look, where would this go on the list? Is It could be good. I think it's between could be good and banger. I'll watch. I'll definitely watch. I do care, but I'm not overly excited. I think since Ruffy kind of got that fraud check type of deal with BSD, I think a lot of people have started going low on him. But I don't think he's that bad of a fighter. I just think he really needs to work on the grappling defense. And Fiziev isn't a major grappling threat, so I don't see him having major problems. So I'm gonna say that Fiziev lost to the Gaethje twice, but then he came back by beating Hernandez. He lost to Gamrot. He's kind of just had like a bit of a iffy career, a win one, lose one type of fighter, and Ruffy's been locked in since the last. So I expect this to be a pretty high level striking matchup. Maybe Fiziev will go for the takedown. He's got like 70% takedown accuracy, so maybe he will go for it. I think he probably should, and I think he'll do well taking Ruffy down. But I don't know, man. I don't know. It's an exciting matchup, but it's not an overly awesome matchup. Could I see a cool Ruffy knockout? I don't know. Maybe I could. Maybe I couldn't. I'm not too sure. He destroyed Malaki, which is going to be on this list as well. Saint Denis is going to be on this list too. But look, actually, I think that all three of them are fighting on the same card, which is crazy. I'll put it in. Could be good. Maybe going to be a banger. It could be a war, and that'll be really fun. So I'm leaning to put it there, but I'm just not overly anticipating because I don't love either guy. All right, Tallison Tuivasa versus Tuivasa. Hmm. Once again, I'm not overly interested. Again, another Sydney card event. Sydney card, even though I gave it good, I gave it a good review saying that it's gonna be, it looks like it could be great. Bro, I can't lie. I'm not interested in this matchup really that much. Tuivasa's on like the longest losing streak of all time, and he's still ranked in the heavyweight division. Tallison Teixeira kind of had that one knockout on his debut coming into the UFC. That was on the last Sydney card as well. So they've had a bit of a history here on one's Australian, one's a dude that has fought here before. But mate, I don't know, man. Like Tallison's kind of been not fraud checked, but he's just sort of, he just got KO by Lewis round one. Look, it's a heavyweight war between two dudes who are heavy finishers. Finishers, like realistically, Tai Tuivasa can't get to the decision because he's too fat and he's gonna gas. And Tallison either gets knocked out or he knocks you out within the first like round or so. So I think it's probably gonna be a banger. Not like full banger, like but I think it's gonna be good. Yeah. So two gonna be good so far. I'm happy with this. Crude versus Jacoby. Yeah, I can't lie. Starting your main card off with Crude versus Jacoby. That's a bit of an L. I can't lie. Look, I'll watch, but I don't care. Neither guy really interests me as a fighter. Neither guy's really going anywhere. They're both not ranked. The only two dudes on this main card that aren't ranked. Why are we still in the big 2026 have main cards of numbered events where dudes aren't ranked? I don't know, but we still got it. Cruz, he's been on a bit of a streak. He lost back in 2023. Hasn't had that many fights, to be fair. Oh, he had 3 in 2025. All right, but how about Jacoby? Okay, if it's not gonna let me freaking do whatever. Jacoby should have done more research before this. Where's Jacoby at in his career? Yeah, Reyes beat him. Mm, yeah, you got a win. Got another win. I don't know. Neither dude's really coming out of me, but they're light heavyweights, so maybe it's gonna be fun. So I'll watch, but I don't really care. I think that's a perfect example of I'll watch, but I don't really care. Bautista versus Oliveira. Again, another one that doesn't really interest me all that much. Bautista had a good, interesting fight against Nurmagomedov. I was really surprised at how well he did against Umar. He really showed that, even though everyone hated on him from the Jose Aldo fight, and then was the Umar fight directly after that? We have it up. Let's check. I'm trying to think if he had a fight in between that. He did, didn't he? Yeah, he had the Patchy Mix fight where he dominated Patchy Mix. Patchy Mix is not at UFC level, so fair enough. But look, he showed talent against Umar. So I know we're supposed to hate him because of the Aldo thing, but me personally, bro, um, I'm kind of a fan. I'm kind of a fan. I like him. And then Oliveira is entertaining as well. Vinicius, my boy, he's pretty entertaining. Decision maxing a little bit here, but KO 2024. So striking accuracy, takedowns, 16 wins by knockout. Look, I'm actually interested. I think this could be good. I won't put it in the watch, but I don't care because I do care a little bit. I genuinely do think this can be an interesting, fun fight. I see Batista maybe winning, but Oliver is pretty good. He is not bad. He's only got 3 losses, 23 wins. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Has he lost? He's lost in the UFC, right? That's why he's only 13 ranked. I'm not too sure. But look, I quite like that. I don't even mind that. I don't even mind that event. No one's really talking about that main event, but I actually don't mind it. Borralho versus Derrida. Interesting. So both dudes are coming off a loss. Which event is this on? This is on the 26th, right? Yeah. So yeah, both dudes coming off a loss. Borralho kind of got dominant. Like Borralho, I loved Borralho. Was my guy. Met him actually. Very cool dude. Got an awesome photo. Maybe I'll pull it up. Actually, no, I don't know if I'm trying to leak what I look like, but we'll see. Borralho is a good dude though. He's awesome. Love him as a fighter. Even though we're boys, I gotta admit, Imavov schooled him. Imavov schooled him for 5 rounds. It was very much not really close. Like the rounds were close-ish, but he was sort of getting every round taken from him, not really doing much. It was pretty poor to see. But, you know, is it as bad as what Derrida did? No, not really. Derrida quit on the stool. He got TKO'd and he didn't even get TKO'd. The guy sat there and took it in the ass. And yeah, he took it in the ass for multiple rounds. And then he was just like, look, my ass hurts. I can't do it anymore. Sat down and he was like, I'm done. I can't get up. My ass is in pain. This is the same dude, by the way, who beat Whitaker. Whitaker, bruv. Our Aussie Chad Whitaker. How could this happen? How could you lose to the Ritter who lost to Brendan Allen, bro? Whitaker, lock in, man. He did destroy Bo Nickel though, who also heavily got forward checked. Both Derrida and Bo Nickel look like they can't even, you know, compete as MMA fighters, let alone the highest level, which is crazy because Derrida was a freaking one championship champion, bro, and one championship is like the best fight force outside of the UFC. So the fact that that happens, I don't know, bro. It's like I don't. That's probably the biggest upset I probably saw in 2025. I would say the fact that Derrida lost to Brendan Allen was crazy to me. I thought Derrida was going to destroy him. So, and we were going to put him up against Hernandez. That would have been an interesting matchup. I would have loved to see what happened there. But how did Whitaker lose? Whatever. We'll go back to it. I quite like this matchup. They're pretty close in the rankings. Whoever loses this one, though, this is one of those matchups where whoever wins gets back into the picture slightly. Depends how they win, I guess. But whoever loses one is kind of fucking cooked. Like, they're going down to Paulo Costa level. Like, they're not going to be, seen for a while. They might have to fight Costa or some, like, guy coming up in the rankings or on ranks. It's not going to look good for the loser. But for the winner, which I'm hoping is Borralho, they can still go into this. But both of them had such poor losses last time round that I don't even see how it's even possible. Like, yeah, it's possible for them to get back, but they need to have pretty good wins to get back. But in terms of stylistically, I don't know. I don't think this matchup is really doing it for me. What's Borralho's got, yeah, Borralho's a bit of a decision master. He's got 5 wins by knockout, 4 wins by submission, 6 first round finishes. Fair enough. That's pretty good. But Dorita, I don't know. Dorita's kind of strange. I don't really know what to make of this matchup. So I'm gonna put, I'm gonna say put it could be good, but I'm not too sure. Oh, oh my god, bro, a banger is coming up. I looked at that and I was like, bro, it's like seeing. I just looked in the corner. I was like, it's like seeing a rare Pokemon for the first time, bro. It was insane. But bro, man, we gotta change. Yeah, you know what it is, bro. You know what it is. We gotta change. Feeding families, bro. Feeding families. Alright. Yeah, we're gonna change it to feeding families. Because right here, right now, these S matchups, Holloway versus Oliveira 2 is feeding families. Boys, when this first got announced, I was like, okay, yeah, this is gonna be a banger. But I really thought about it, and as this is going on, bro, the winner of this fight versus a loser of this fight. Like, this is a matchup. I can't explain it, but this is a matchup for the ages, bro. This is like a kill or be killed. Like, this is the one and final chance. I think Oliveira already had his final chance. I think from the way he got knocked out by Ilya, I can't ever see him becoming undisputed again. I think Holloway still has a chance to become undisputed, but they're two of my favorite fighters, man. It sucks that they're facing because I love both of them. They're both in like my top 5 favorite fighters of all time. But I low-key want Holloway to win just because I think he's the only one that could get undisputed. I think if Oliveira wins, right? Oliveira wins, he's still got knocked out by Ilya in round 1. What are you going to do? Give him another title shot? He got knocked out by Ilya in round 1. He got submitted by Islam in like round 2 or something like that. And he lost a split decision to Arman. Why would you give him a title shot? Right, so think about it. Holloway, right? Yeah, he lost to Ilya, but it was a competitive fight before then, and it's a different weight class. A weight class that arguably Holloway is looking better in than he ever. Maybe not that he ever looked in featherweight, because he looked great in featherweight, and against Korean Zombie, he looked great. But his version of Holloway is different. So I don't know. Look, we're not deciding who's going to win here, but I'm just saying, bro. This is like the only matchup on here that I can think of so far where I've gone back on it over and over, thinking I think this person's going to win. Actually, no, I think this person's going to win. I think Charles is going to win with his grappling. Actually, no, I think it's going to stay on the feet the majority of the time, and Holloway's going to piece him up striking. I have no clue how this is going to go, but if it goes 5 rounds and it goes to like an Oliveira decision, because Holloway is a beast in the striking, but Oliveira is one of those fighters where he doesn't even need to win rounds because he knows he's going to get that finish. He's not going to win rounds. He's not going to, he's not aiming for that and he won't get it because he wants a finish. He always looks for that finish, and he's this brawling MMA type style. Holloway is obviously a BMF. We know Holloway's a BMF. Oliveira is a BMF. Oliveira is a very heavy BMF. Like, I can't explain it, but like, going through that original title like run that Oliveira went on, where he fought Chandler, Poirier, Gaethje. I mean, all those fights were BMF fights. He was losing, he was winning, he was going in there, and he was getting into wars. This, unless it ends up in a freak injury, just like the first one happened, this is going to be a war. This has to be a war. I don't see it going, too far in either direction. I think there's going to be a war. Charles Oliveira obviously got that Gamrot win. I think that only hyped him up more. Everyone wanted to see this fight already, but after he won against Gamrot and he called out Holloway, it was like, okay, everyone wants to see this fight now. They don't even need to talk in the promotion. Neither dude's a big, heavy talker in the promotion. You just need to get in there and watch the fight, and you know it's going to be a banger, and you know it's going to carry the card. And honestly, it's probably, spoiler alert, it's probably the best main event out of everything on here because it's just such a banger, bro. I can't explain it. I can't explain it. My little casual is freaking out thinking about it. Bro, these are two banger fighters who are heavy BMFs. I can't explain it, bro, but I'm just hella excited, man. I'm hella excited. It's actually genuinely on my mind all the time about who's going to win this fight. No other fight is on my mind that crazy, except for maybe like one, which we'll get onto in here. But dude, can't believe we've got to wait till March. I mean, bro, in between the the, the Sydney pay-per-view and this pay-per-view is a month, and it's worth it because this fight is going to be peak, mate. It's going to be peak. And it feels like a fresh matchup as well because the first fight ended so weirdly and ended so quickly that it doesn't even feel like it's like a rematch. So I don't know, man, but it's pretty heavy up there for me. So I'm gonna, yeah, S. It's feeding families. So we'll go Strickland versus Hernandez. Ooh, this one's a good one as well. I feel like when this matchup got made, I was like, you know what, this ain't bad. I wish it was on the Sydney card, but what can we do? We move on. We move. Where's Hernandez? I haven't seen. Oh wait, I've been filming for 20 minutes. I don't even think we're over halfway. So we'll speed this up. We'll speed this up. Give me 1 second. All right. So yeah, Strickland versus Hernandez. Um, Hernandez. What was I saying? Yeah, Hernandez. I don't really feel like I've got a great grasp of what his skill level is yet. So I don't know how good he can take it. But I'm all aboard the Fluffy Hernandez train. I mean, you saw that last fight he had. Was that the fight? I can't remember. Was the last fight? This is where I'm casual maxing out here. Was the last fight when he pulled the guy? Was it the Delita he pulled? Just absolutely ragdolled with his submission, or was it Allen? I don't remember that being. I don't think that was Allen. No. Oh yeah, it says here. Yeah, submission. Yeah. So yeah. So that was a very good win. He was supposed to fight RDR, but then he pulled out. I don't know if he beats Strickland though. And the thing is with Strickland, I want to put this as a banger because I am really excited for this one. But Strickland, he really just fights so boring, man. I don't remember the last Strickland fight I watched that I was entertained by. The Paulo Costa one was sort of entertaining. The um the last DDP one was not entertaining. The first DDP one was all right, and the Adesanya fight was entertaining for a minute when he was beating up on Adesanya, and then it got hella boring. So Strickland just fights boring, which is why I'm gonna put this here. Hopefully Strickland gets ragdolled. I don't even mind Strickland that much as a dude, but he's just boring as hell. So we'll put it there. Um, Hooker versus Saint Denis. This is like a mini BMF fight, if I'm keeping it real. If this was this is the Paddy Pimblett versus Gaethje of the BMF title. This is like an interim BMF because both of these dudes are BMF heavy. I want to see Hooker win. I'm sick of dudes being like Hooker, Australian guy, because he just keeps losing and it makes us look bad. He's not Aussie, he's a New Zealander. But, bro, I think that this is going to be a one-sided destruction from Saint Denis. I genuinely believe that. If you look at his last fight against Ruffy, he destroyed him on the ground. If you look at how Hooker just lost to Sarukian, very similar way of winning. I don't know, man. It gives me the vibe that it's going to be a domination. And dominations are bangers. So I'm putting everything in the could be good, but I genuinely don't know. Ooh, okay, O'Malley Song Yudong. O'Malley Song Yudong. Damn, this one's a hard one. Again, I don't know enough about where Song Yudong's level is at. But yeah, decision. Was it? It was the Cejudo fight decision. Oh right, because they let the thing go. Then he lost to Yarn. He got a couple good wins. He lost to Sanhagen as well, though. And then you have O'Malley, who's kind of been on a losing streak, but only Temarab. Both striking guys, though. I'm gonna say, yeah, he's got some good wins. I'm gonna say this could be a war. This could be a banger. Stuffer, I'll put it in a banger. I'll put it in the banger. Yeah, I'll put it in the banger. Cortez versus Lewis. I don't care enough. That's the thing. I want Cortez Acosta to win just because I want the division to be moving. No offense, even though everyone loves Derek Lewis. I'm putting could be good. That's another could be good fight. Alan Silva. Alan Silva. Bro, I'm going to be putting everything in could be good. Alan Silva. Man, trying to think. Silva always has banger fights, even when he loses though. The only recent loss he had was to Diego Lopes, which I was surprised about. I thought Diego Lopes would win, but I didn't think he'd dominate in the sense of that. But hopefully Silva takes this similarly to how Carlos Prates took the Ian Gary loss and comes back with a vengeance. This is a quick turnaround considering how badly he got destroyed. Like just violently attacked in that fight. But I'm trying to think. Alan hasn't fought recently, has he? There you go. Arnold Allen. Yeah. Yeah, he hasn't fought that much at all. He hasn't fought all of last year. I don't know. I generally don't know what to think about this one. I think it's in between these. There needs to be like a tier in between that. Yeah, there needs to be like a tier in between that that's like in between these two tiers. And that's where I put it. That's where I put both of these matchups. I'll just put them like this. Like at the top of here. And then I don't really want to drop any of these though. Stuff, I'll just put these up here. Alright, Volkanovski versus Lopes 2. Volkanovski versus Lopes 2 is between Banger and Feeding Families, if I'm keeping it a buck. The only reason why it's not at Feeding Families is because it's not a matchup that Lopes deserves. It's a matchup we've just seen. But even though we've just seen it, it's hard to explain. Like, he doesn't deserve the matchup whatsoever, right? We know this. We know it's bullshit. We know it's bullshit from the rankings. We know it's not fair. We know it's stupid. We know it doesn't make any sense. We know it turns the sport into a clown show. I get all that, right? But even though we've already seen this fight, it's one of those fights where I feel like it was so strange that I could generally see either guy coming back this next time round and dominating again, or it could be close. I generally don't know where it goes. Even though I want Volk to win, he's my boy. I'm going to be seeing this one live. I don't know. I generally don't know. But I'll go Feeding Families just because it's a banger. These two are great fighters, and the first one was a banger. And if it's anything like the first, it's going to be a banger as well. It's one of my favorite fights from last year. So it's Feeding Families, even though it's not, even though it shouldn't be there. And it's not Holloway Oliveira 2 level, but it's above those other fights down there, which is why I kind of wanted to just put these ones down and then put this like there. Maybe we'll do that. I don't know, man, but we'll see. Moicano versus Ortega 2. Moicano versus Ortega 2. I don't even remember how the first fight went. See, this is how you know I'm proper casual. Moicano and Ortega. So, where's Moicano? Wait, am I an idiot? There's Moicano. There's Moicano. Back when Moicano was at featherweight, Moicano's been interesting because he just had that loss to Dariush, and then he had the loss to Makachev. He got a lock in, bro. But he beat Saint Denis, which is what is crazy because Saint Denis is on this run now. He just beat Dariush, which is insane. Man, it's a weird one. Where was that? How far ago was the fight between? When did he even fight? Did he even fight? I'm so confused. Yeah, he did fight Ortega. Ortega won. Submission. 2017. Damn, that was pre McGregor Khabib. I don't know why out of every single fight I could think of being pre that. It was McGregor. I guess it's just because it's the biggest fight, but yeah, McConnell Estaldo. I don't know what to make of this one if I'm being honest. Fuck it. Could be good. Could be good. Harrison versus Nunes. I'll watch, but I don't care. If I'm keeping it a buck, man, like I don't know what to tell you guys. Every single time I watch one of these women championship fights, I was so excited for the Valentina Shevchenko um versus why am I blanking? Why am I blanking? The GOAT. What's the name? The GOAT. Why am I blanking? Zhang Wei Li. Yeah, and it was boring. It was bad. It was just boring. And Kayla Harrison, none of her fights really, really wowed me that much. The last fight was like a good submission, but I don't know, man. Like I'll watch, but I just don't care if I'm keeping it apart. So yeah, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know why we have two O'Malley versus Song Yadongs. Quillen Salkilds versus versus Bum, mate. Versus Bum from the Australian Bum. What do we make of Salkild versus Bum? I like Quinlan Salkeld. He's my homie. That's the only reason why this is on here. I think he generally could be a high level lightweight contender. I don't know if he can be champ, but I think he's at a level to where he can be like the Dustin or Justin like type of guy at lightweight for a while. Champion at Eternal. JDM was champion at Eternal. I like this guy. Let's put him in here. O'Malley versus sorry, not O'Malley. Nurmagomedov versus Figueiredo. This is such a weird one for Umar because like it's pretty much just a fight to show, hey, like, look at how many fights I'm gonna have. Now you have to give me well, it's gonna be you have to give me Marab again, but now it's you have to give me, I guess, Piotr. But now that Marab's kind of lost, it's like, okay, you could do the Marab rematch, or you could do the Piotr Jan rematch, or you could have done O'Malley. Figueiredo is kind of like Figueiredo just lost to Jan. Figueiredo's not really that interesting right now. Like it's not like I think like it's gonna be. I think less. I think it's gonna be more dominant than the I think it's gonna be more dominant than the last fight he just had with Bautista. So I'll watch, but I don't really care. It just kind of feels like a layup for Umar. Maybe not a layup because obviously Figueiredo is great. Don't get me wrong, but it's just not really what I'm mega interested in. And I'm not really mega interested in this Moreno fight either. Moreno's just kind of been out of it for me. Like I'm not the biggest heavy flyweight fan. Um, and I don't really Moreno I enjoy watching fight, but I don't know, just not really there for me. Sorry, boys. Um, here we'll do these Why is O'Malley versus Yadong there twice? All right, so we got Silva versus Nunes. I'll watch, but I don't care. Um, and Gaethje versus Pimblett. Now, Gaethje versus Pimblett. I like how I just skipped over like two fights. Sorry, bro. The I'll watch, but I don't care category is pretty much the category of like I'm gonna talk about you for a second to talk about why I don't really care, and then I'm gonna move on. Gaethje versus Pimblett though. You can tell I don't get all those fights. Gaethje versus Pimblett is a weird one because it'll be so good as a co-main event, but it's a main event of our first Paramount event, and I couldn't like really give a rat's about. Oh no, like I don't get me wrong, I'm very much interested in that fight, but for a championship, it is a little strange that it's champ. But I'm excited for it. Gaethje could win it. Paddy could win it. It's a close matchup, honestly. That's I will say out of all three of these main events for the non-pay, I mean, like, sorry, for the numbered events, I'm interested in every single one. So, is it feeding families? I don't know if it's feeding families, but it is a banger. I will say it. It does interest me. I'll put these two in feeding families. Gaethje vs Pimblett interests me because it could generally go either way. I picture it being a war. I don't see. I mean, this is Gaethje's last chance. I don't see him just going out and not giving it his all. Obviously, he might have staph infection. He's got like some sort of mark on his lip and his neck, but I don't see him pulling out. I would have loved to see Armin versus Pimblett instead. I don't think Gaethje deserved the title shot at all whatsoever, but he's there now. We're just gonna have to live with it. And I'm interested. I like Gaethje. I don't think like he always talks about like I remember in the press conference for this fight how he mentioned that he's like the most entertaining fighter in the world, and Pimblett's like kind of close. I'm not that entertained. I'm not that entertained by Gaethje these days. His last fight with Fiziev was not that entertaining to me whatsoever. Um, but he's obviously got a unique style. He's fun. And this is his final chance, and I think it's going to be like a Poirier type of thing where it's like the final chance. You're going to go all out, and you're going to go into a war, trying to get that finish. And against Pimblett, that's going to be really fun because Pimblett's a unique style, but Pimblett will, even though he's a jiu-jitsu guy, he will strike with you, and I think that's really fun because he's an unorthodox striker. I think these guys are two like dudes that are going to get into a war. I think it's going to be entertaining, and I don't see either dominating, which is why it's going to be so exciting. I like after watching that Pimblett Chandler fight, it gets me even more excited because he did get taken down by Chandler a couple times. He struggled a bit at the start before dominating Chandler later, but Chandler's a bit of a shell of himself. Gaethje wasn't able to finish Chandler though. So I don't know. I don't really know how it goes, but I'm excited. I'm intrigued, which is why I'm gonna put it in the banger list. Um, but yeah, this is pretty much a list. Let me I'll turn these around. Maybe should I just go through and be like, or for all these ones, I'll go through and like rank these ones. So we got O'Malley versus Yadong more interesting than Allen versus Silva. I'll say yeah. Say Strickland versus Hernandez maybe isn't. I think this list is like. No, I think that fight's probably more entertaining. This fight's gonna be entertaining. I'm excited for this one. Excited for this one. What's more exciting? I'll say this because it's like a mini BMF. I think this is gonna be, a bomb file. Yeah, that's probably what I do with that. Yeah. So this is a bit of a longer video. I'll try to edit this one down. Like, subscribe. Let me know this. I mean, you can go on this tier list. Here's the freaking name of it. It's online, so I'm gonna my deets are gonna get leaks because it's on my personal account. But if you guys want to check it out, I'll put the link in the description so that you guys can rank these two. Let me know what you guys think about my rankings in the comments. Yeah, like, subscribe. Let me know how my mic is. Let me know how I did. If I'm a casual or not. And I'm talking too much, so I'll catch you boys all later. Like, subscribe, enjoy the video. We're having plenty more coming in the future. And let me know what's your most anticipated matchup, baby. And what's your least anticipated matchup out of all of these. So yeah, catch you guys later. Thanks. Bye-bye.